Good morning, it's Harvey Jackson. Just going to go through some news items. Sorry, I didn't record the last Thursday, Friday. It was a holiday for the U.S. and not a whole lot happening in the markets other than there was still some more downside to a lot of the markets here. But let's just go through that. Wheat market falls on supply pressure despite Russian export quota. So Russia has an export quota that they're talking about putting on, and you can see that the market still keeps on going down, even though some of those the largest shipper in the world is going to be taking away some of the supply. Palm oil actually had a pretty good rise in the last five trading sessions, and today it was down a little bit. So here I just put side-by-side stories here. Ukraine's actually talking about putting a price floor in, and same with Russia by cutting its supply as well. So that should make wheat somewhat bullish, but we're not seeing any bullish sentiment there at all. So here's kind of a rundown of what we're going to possibly see this week, and this is just in the economic side, and we have a couple of reports coming out. There's actually three reports. There are two reports this week. ABARS is coming out tomorrow, which is your Australian report. So hopefully we can get some sort of news of exact size of crop and give us some direction there. And then on Thursday we'll have our stats can as well. But you can see that we're going to have some information that's going to maybe give some direction to what the U.S. Fed might be doing as well with the jobs numbers coming out on Friday. So just a quick article that I found just talking about the 25% tariff and how much that could actually impact the economy here in Canada. It would not be good. So Trump over the weekend demanded a commitment from the BRICS not to use their own dollar, and that he would be basically putting on 100% tariff to all of those countries. So that's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and others as well. The article actually quotes quite a few there. Just as a quick note here, this is a 1 week forecast, and you can see Brazil, Argentina is getting some moisture. Now, where is that moisture? You can see this is your soybean map for Brazil, so that moisture is actually hitting pretty bullseye. But if we were to look at Argentina, it's not quite the same. Here's your soybean map, and here's your wheat map. So it's shifted down a little bit. This is a little bit drier, but of course wheat can take a lot more dry than soybeans, of course, at this stage. Oilseeds. So let's just quickly go through what I see in the markets here. Canola is down, rapeseed down, soybean oil down, palm oil down. Chinese rapeseed oil is up slightly. Crude oil is up slightly as well. Soybeans down, and all your wheat's down as well. Just as a quick note, Trump did make it out to Mar-a-Lago to visit, or Trudeau went out to Mar-a-Lago to visit Trump, and some of the other facts that are on this is where's some of our exports. Our exports are hitting pretty decent pace, but there's a slowdown in crush last week. Even more substantially, we got down to 84.5% versus 87 last week. So our crush utilization is getting hit. Yeah, so you can see here, we're still tracking above pace on the NOV. Now we're in Dece, and you can see that of the 5 years, we're ahead of pace here. So here's just the last few months right in here is basically the colors that we're paying attention to. China has been the major buyer, and we're starting to get some pickup pace from some of the European countries, Belgium to speak of. So looking at just how canola is tracking here, we've got some down, but didn't go quite as low as we previously had, but we're kind of hitting our head on that 23.6 retracement value on the way up, and still very little directional support from any indicators as well. November canola even farther down than the previous lows before, so it's actually really putting pressure on November 25. Here's your rapeseed. Of course, it didn't track down far as before. It almost looks like it created a gap here as well. So we'll have to see how that trades out. So if we look at how this is traded, we're $175 too cheap in the canola European spread in Canadian dollars. Soybean oil, some moving averages above the market here. Still downward trend that we're seeing here, but above the 23.6 support on the retracement value. Palm oil made it above the 500 or 5,000 ringgit, and it's now trading a little bit lower. But the 5,000 ringgit seems to be a number that I would like to see some support. You got some of your short-term moving averages below the market too, so that's giving some support there as well. So if we look back, where's 5,000 ringgit, and we look at it hasn't really traded in that range for quite some time. We did have some of that COVID and higher commodity values, but just looking at where was it? It was back in 2021 values for crude oil or the palm crude oil. Crude oil here seems to be going into some sort of sideways wedge. Now, which way is it going to break out is the question. Soybeans at the bottom end of the trade, and if we look at the trend, it's not our friend here at all. So you know you're looking at descending price trading at the bottom. Canadian dollar is probably looking almost identical to the soybeans in that way. But if we look farther back, we did get lower lows in the past. So that was your uh, when crude oil went to negative, and you know our COVID kind of hype right there as well. What happened? Forward crush margins not as bad as one would think, but a week ago it was even worse. So it's actually improved with the price of the seed going down, and the soybean oil and soybean meal kind of holding out at the bottom end of the range. Here's your soybean crush, and it's fallen apart as well. Let's get into wheat. Not a whole lot to talk about other than it's just constantly sliding, going downwards here, and some support here, but where it looks like we're going to test it. So the stories on the restrictions on both Ukraine and Russia doesn't seem to have any impact there at all. Here's your Chicago wheat. Here's your Kansas, and trading right at its low, and we're currently making lower lows there. Milling wheat is a little bit higher, but still not the right kind of trend that we're still going down by the look of this. Here's your corn, kind of going into a probably an upward trend, but still, which side is it going to break out? It's on the bottom end of the of that wedge. Soybean ratio to corn, it's pretty low, so it's hard to say what's going to happen here. So next report that's going to happen for Canada is your December report, and then there's going to be a report next week that's actually going to give us some USDA numbers. And again, like I had mentioned, A bars will be coming out tomorrow as well. So we'll chat with you tomorrow.